Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
We back.
What is up, everybody? Adjusting your mic, or my mic. We're getting situated.
Can't tell. We are back in Studio 1.0.
Back where it all started. Actually, it all started like awkwardly in kind of like the living room area.
That is true.
That is true.
That episode doesn't exist, though.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not on the interwebs. What is up, everybody? It is your boy, it's KonKon, back at it again. And of course, sitting across from me as always,
Jay Breezy.
Guys.
Fighting the horrible Florida
don't bring it up.
Spring/summer/ 100-degree plus heat index.
Dude, what is it? Because this is not...
No.
This is... We're in May, and we're dealing with, like, July, August.
Oh, yeah. This is
It's,
dead
like,
of summer
really
heat.
bad. Today was 93, and once again, the heat index felt well over 100.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's weird. Like, today was so hot, it felt like you were in a convection oven. Like, the second you stepped out of your vehicle, the
humidity hits
the
you.
wind,
It's like you
horrible.
walk into a brick wall of moist.
Yeah.
Moist.
Before we get too far into this show,
Yes.
we did want to bring something up, and I'll let you...
Yes, we're going to have a somber moment.
Yep.
Technicolor boy Anders Lindquist, who's been on the show since I believe...
Episode 2.
I say it was episode 2, so an original, which technically now is our first episode.
Yes.
But unfortunately, his father passed yesterday, and we just wanted to take a moment, share the love of the Cantina, and let him know that everybody's thinking of him, and send some love to him and his family, because they're going through a hard time, and we just wish them the best.
Yep. Unexpected deaths, obviously. Death in any way is obviously horrible. Unexpected death is definitely bad.
Oh, yeah, out of nowhere.
Thinking of you, Anders, definitely, and obviously
Your
Rochelle.
dad, John.
Yep.
May you rest in peace. We'll have a drink for him today on.
Yeah,
in the
we
Cantina.
gotta find out what his favorite drink is too.
Yes.
And we got to do that for sure. Guys, episode 75. Yesterday was May the 4th. Happy May the 4th.
May the 4th. This was a weird May the 4th. I feel like there was not that many releases compared to previous years.
Remember last year...
I'm opening my beer before you told me to.
No, that's fine. Open it now.
Okay.
Just don't drink it yet.
Okay.
Just don't drink it yet. Last year, May the 4th, we had Clone Wars Season 7.
Yes.
Okay, so that kicked off. It was the finale for May the 4th, if I'm remembering it right, for Season 7 Clone Wars. And now we have Bad Batch has come out. I was super shocked by Bad Batch.
74 glorious minutes.
Yeah.
Not a
it was-
20-minute episode like we were expecting.
Yeah, definitely not. And I'm kind of hoping that carrying forward with Bad Batch, we continue to get these long episodes. Probably not, but I'm really hoping that we get some length to those episodes.
What about some other May the 4th deals? Did you see anything pop up? Sales?
Galactic
Anything good?
Armory. Shout outs to Galactic Armory.
Oh yeah, you got a new bucket, didn't you?
I got a new bucket, guys. Now, I told you, Niles, and Travis, and
Travi, Paul, Randy.
and Natasha. Natasha approved it. We're sitting there watching Bad Batch Sunday night. Or no, not Sunday. I'm stupid. Tuesday. It was May the 4th, obviously. Yeah. And see, we like watch TV on Sundays together. That's why. Anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, like, oh my gosh, like I totally forgot about May the 4th deals. Money's been a little bit tight. I didn't want to like even look at the sales because I knew that I was going to buy something.
I think you bought a lightsaber last year, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, year before last.
Okay.
Year before last. Yeah, so 2020, I bought the Electrum. No, yeah, 2019. And then 2020, I didn't buy anything. So this year, Galactic Armory, I bought a tech bucket.
I can't wait.
So, full sent it. I like the cosplaying. I've always wanted to do a clone.
You've been kicking around tech for
Dude,
a year at this point since he's been out.
The moment I saw tech, I was like, that's it. I want to do that. So I officially bought the bucket. It is going to be the most expensive cosplay I've ever tackled by far. I think this is where I actually buy my 3D printer. I think that's how expensive this one's going to get.
I like it.
Yeah,
3D printer doesn't print leather, though.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to either learn leather working or I'm going to have to buy a very, very expensive belt.
Belt, straps. He's got leather all over.
Yeah, he's got leather all over, but
One
it's
of the
going
things
to
that
be
makes
fun.
him look the coolest.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun build. And then Revenge of the Fifth. I didn't do really anything special. I just started a new job, so I didn't do anything special Tuesday except for Bad Batch. Did you? Well, you don't work anymore. Period.
No,
You know.
I'm homeless at this point.
Yeah. So you watched everything.
Oh yes, I watched every single piece of May the 4th content that came out.
So you said weaker. Why do you say weaker?
I mean, I normally on May the 4th we just get blown up and inundated with like special edition releases
Yeah.
of things, kind of like Star Wars Celebration style. Like they'll hold some stuff back. Disney itself will hold some stuff back and like normally drop some like really cool stuff. And
Yeah.
I didn't find any. The one thing I did find that I was trying to get for my sister and Anders' anniversary, which did not work out well for me, is they came out with some amazing tiki mugs that were all like, they had some Cantina ones. They had this awesome line of all these tiki mugs, but they sold out so fast I wasn't able to get them.
Aren't those based on? Because at Oga's Cantina, one of the drinks you can get comes in a tiki style glass.
They had like a whole bunch of different versions. Like they had a Jabba's Palace set. They had all these cool different ones. They weren't the cheapest things in the world, but they were just so cool because they love making tiki drinks.
Yeah.
So, but that was a failed attempt.
Guys,
It's a worthless story.
Absolutely worth it. You know what? Anytime I just briefly say something, you're just like, oh, okay, just forget me, right? Like, God. You know what? I'm going back to your camera. Show the people my new probe droid. It's right there next to you. Look at that thing.
Look at this bad boy.
Look at that bad boy. Lego, I was able to secure that with the pre-order. And then...
Up on our...
yeah, hang on.
My arms weren't broken. I would go pick it up, but...
Up here, we've got the Razor Crest.
The Razor Crest.
And stop it immediately. Your arguments are invalid. And my picture of my beautiful wife. My wife.
A dated reference that I'll never stop saying.
No, exactly.
My wife.
My wife. Up there, shout outs to Travis Butler for securing that manufacturer Razor Crest Lego set for us.
The Razor Crest.
Yeah, that was super
Fantastic.
awesome. So definitely we want to do videos for both.
Yeah, for
Building
sure.
Legos probably isn't the most amazing thing to watch, but it'll be time-lapse.
We'll
time-lapse it. I'm sure we'll make
I think a lot of
inappropriate
people
jokes.
are just kind of curious because not everybody gets these massive Lego sets because either you don't want to drop
Scalpers,
$150 plus on something or you don't have somewhere to keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, Legos take up a
room.
ton of space.
Yeah, it's going...
Especially...
Since we'll be in Studio One for a while.
Suspend that sucker from the ceiling.
Yeah, we're gonna put that bad boy up there. But housekeeping, very very briefly, guys. For May the 4th, going through this entire week, we do have our shirts. They are on sale, 20% off. Code is SWDAY, so Star Wars Day. Once again, that is 20% off. Go over there, guys. It does support us. We greatly appreciate it. Shirt sizes are limited for Rex. Rex was a limited run.
And it's selling. It's probably our quickest seller.
We're already out of 3XL, 2XL, and I believe we have XL we have the most of, but we have like one small, one medium, 2 larges, and I think 4 XLs left of the Rex ones. Tons of Cantina shirts are still available. So guys, if you go over there, feel free to DM us too. If you don't go through Big Cartel, we can save you on shipping. That'd be really easy. If you're local, of course. If you're local,
hit us up on a instant message anywhere, a text message, any kind, and we'll just hook it up directly, bring it to you, no shipping.
Tri-blend shirts are super comfortable. You won't be disappointed with the quality of the shirt. Our next round of shirts, we're definitely changing it up. We learned a lot from making these shirts. Spelling was a huge factor.
Or words in
general. Listen, it's just that's a whole nother thing.
You'll find out one day.
You'll see it, guys. You already know.
Let's just say we had 3 shirts originally.
Now we have expensive tablecloths and bandanas.
Does your dog want other way?
Does your dog want a bandana? Because
no, we're gonna fix them.
Yeah, we'll fix them. We have the technology.
Yeah.
Obviously, social media: KonKon's Cantina, Instagram, Facebook. You guys already know Discord. We have the
Discord is blowing up lately because
Bad
Batch. That is our one and only spot for spoiler chat.
Yes.
So we're keeping that off Facebook. We're keeping that off of anybody who would weirdly have conversations in Instagram.
Yes.
But spoiler chat fully on Discord. The second the episode drops, it is free reign. Post your comments, post your opinions. Oh my God, to the moments like today, or I guess it was yesterday's episode when you immediately are seeing Caleb Dune, which was
I guess we
God
should
moment
just
for me.
say spoiler warning, of course.
Oh yeah,
for Bad Batch and pretty much all of Star Wars canon, because we're gonna have some theories and other things.
What are you talking about? The
G'day,
worst accent ever.
G'day, Bad Batch. Like, we're gonna be talking about a bunch of that stuff. But guys, listen, we are a Cantina podcast channel, and we're gonna go into the Cantina right now. You drank it.
I know. I'm hoping you didn't
listen.
notice.
I noticed. It was that giant.
Welcome to
I hate you
KonKon's
so much
Cantina.
right now.
What are you having?
I didn't even get your reaction on camera.
I held it back.
All right.
But remember, no droids.
This week I brought something special. Natasha, myself, and the Cantina Splicer and his wife, we just recently went on vacation together. We went to Georgia, and we stopped at the loveliest brewery called New Realm. New Realm's actually pretty well known in the Southeast. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% sure that you can get this in Florida, but they do deliver in states around Georgia, which we're connected. Apparently, beer laws are super weird with shipping and stuff in Georgia. I don't know all the details, but this is the Hazy Like a Fox IPA. When I first tried this was just an immediate 10 out of 10. Now, I will say a couple of things. I've never had a beer taste so different depending on how you serve it. This beer is best in a plastic cup. I know that
like
sounds
a solo
weird.
cup?
Yes.
Huh.
Like they served it because we were sitting outside, so they don't allow
so
glass.
they give you the travel pint glass.
Yeah, you just throw it away. It's still good in a can. It's not. I had it in a chilled glass. Didn't like it in a chilled glass.
Does it make a difference, draft or can?
Yes.
Okay.
Still good. I mean, go ahead and try
I only
it.
took the smallest of sip, and then I withheld my
take a
reaction.
good sip. Really swish it around like you're used to, with liquids in your mouth.
Oh God, you got me.
Yeah, I did.
Hold on. No, just gag that down.
No pun intended.
God dang it.
You stupid. I can't believe you said that.
It's thick and creamy. I'm joking. This is quite delicious. It's very juicy. It's very
like a nice.
It's not citrus. What? I don't know. I haven't read the can to look at details.
No. Definitely citrus, but it's not dank.
Yeah, it tastes a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Pineapple. Okay, pineapple. Now that I'm reading it, I can taste the pineapple. This is amazing, and it's, what is this? 6.5%.
I love it.
Hazy like a fox.
I love that it gets you. It hits it checks all the boxes for me.
A juicy haze of orange, lemon, and pineapple hop notes.
Yeah, it's super good. The way that it pours too, you can see this on my personal Instagram at It's KonKon. I made like a little promo video for them. I was so impressed by the place that I had my camera.
Your video made me want to go there for sure.
Dude, it was so sick. Shout outs to Amanda. She was our bartender. I told her that I would give her a shout out on the podcast. Me and the wife were just talking to her at the end of the night, and we were just talking about how the breweries in Georgia are just on a way larger scale than Florida.
We have small microbreweries. They have
especially in Central Florida,
big boy
Sweetwater, Terrapin, New Realm. It was ginormous. Anyway, she ended up giving us a private tour.
That's
and
awesome.
Told us more about their beer, their process. One thing that's special about them is none of their beers at this location, which this location once again is East Atlanta. I can't remember the name of the machine, but when you deal with hazies, you usually have all the particles, and you have to roll the can, which that's something that I like. I know that's something you enjoy too.
Yeah.
That definitely adds layers and flavor. They have a machine that takes all that out. And apparently it's extremely expensive. So like when other brewmasters come to New Realm, they're like, oh my gosh, we can't believe you have this. Like she was telling us all about it. I have a picture. I'll have to show it to you. But it was just super neat to hear that. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love these. I could kill a whole 6-pack of these and never feel bad about it.
I think I 100% agree. The other thing I was noticing on the can is it's brewed in Georgia and Virginia. So apparently New Realm is big enough that they have multiple locations, multiple breweries, which is probably why you see a bigger reach.
They
for
also just opened a Savannah location as well. And all of their cans have individual can art. So if you look under the description, you'll see the triple-headed fox.
Right.
And also their logo is a Radagast, which is, I can't remember if it was Roman or Greek, but basically it's a mythos creature of hospitality. That is their logo.
So far, everything I've had from New Realm has just been fire. It's been great.
So actually show that camera the second one that we're going to be drinking. We'll probably end up having a second Cantina later.
The second one is Hoplandia IPA.
Yeah, that's going to be the second one that we're going to open up later during the show. But 10 out of 10 Mandos for me. What about you?
I'm right there with you. This is
so
killer,
good, dude.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And the 6.5% is like an awesome level for an ABV where it's you don't got to drink a ton of them.
Yeah,
but you don't get obliterated without realizing it. It's like a safe level.
And you know me, I'm not like a huge fan of sessions, and this doesn't strike me as a session, even though it's sessionable.
Yeah,
which I really like because I like those depths of flavors.
Yeah.
I love everything about it.
I really love this. I definitely want to see it poured out. I want to watch that video again now after tasting this to look at it.
That's the majority of what they were serving. It's definitely a favorite there. And you know what else was really nice about them? They're so established. Almost every single one of their beers was available right then and there. You could go to the cooler, grab a 6-pack, and buy it.
Oh, that's nice.
Because that was a big experience we had in Georgia. Is like we would brewery hop and we'd be like, oh, we really like this. Can we buy it? No.
Yeah.
You could only get it
draft,
served.
and that's it.
That's it. But guys, episode 75, May the 4th, Bad Batch, the very first episode. We are not doing a play-by-play.
We regretted after we
watched it our second
we
time.
should have done it.
Because there was just so much, but I feel like this episode was very, very straightforward. Maybe we'll do this later. I really wanted me and you to just talk off the cuff about it.
This is one of the first times in probably 8 or 9 months we have no written agenda or notes down for this episode.
Nothing.
This is off the top of our head entirely.
We're just going right off of it. So you already said it. Caleb Doob shows up. Okay, a.k.a. Kanan Jarrus.
Which was, also shout out to Freddie Prinze Jr. for reprising his voice, but
Loved
of making himself like a little bit
Listen,
kitty.
he kind of had to make it, a little bit. Yeah.
But, Matt, camping comedian, was talking to me. He's like, yeah, it's Kanan. They said his name 1,000 times. I'm like, no, it's Caleb.
It's Caleb.
You don't know Kanan yet. That's after he's on the run from the Order 66. But Caleb Doom? It's Dune, and with an N, correct?
No.
I think it's with an N.
Caleb Doom. You could be right. But speaking of words and names that we can't pronounce, his Jedi Master's name, I always want to call her Alibaba, and that's not what it is.
But the cool thing is they kept her look dead on. Like I guess we got that hollow vid of her in Clone Wars Season 7. That was kind of the first teaser with young Caleb and her together.
It is Caleb Doom. Dume.
Okay.
Doom. His Jedi Master, I really like her whole... obviously, Lucas took inspirations from a ton of different cultures. And that's actually something that he took a lot of flack for.
Like stereotyping?
Stereotyping. And, not to discredit anybody's feelings, if you find it offensive, I guess go ahead. Like, I don't want to tell somebody how they should feel about it. His Jedi Master strikes me as an Indian woman. I mean, she has the 2 dots in Hindu. Gosh, it was completely escaping me.
Definitely, I can see those influences.
Yeah, and even like the hairstyle, the big loops. And once again, both dots to me resembling Hinduism, but obviously not being so flagrant as to only having 1 dot.
Right.
Yeah, and them not being red.
You pull from source material that
of course.
and then you just put your Star Wars spin on it.
Yeah.
The other part that I like is how they've kept her, because you and I were talking while we were watching it, and we were kicking ourselves for not having thought of opening up. I have the Kanan Jarrus hardback volume of all the comics that goes through.
I was so
Kanan's.
I was so upset with you because I didn't even bother bringing it up because I'm like, oh, he's gonna totally go back and look.
Didn't even click in my head, but it basically covers Kanan from this exact point, from before, during Order 66, through his on the run, and how he becomes Kanan instead of Caleb.
And it's disturbing because I remember when you got it and you were thumbing through it and you're like, you have to get it. And I still want it, but now I kind of don't want it because I distinctly remember the pictures you showing me looking like in my head that they were like on a scrap planet. And that's not what it was. They still were on a snowy planet.
I'd have to look back. I posted some pictures because I just quickly Googled some of the pictures that I could find without... I don't own a digital copy of it, so it was not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
But I tried to find some of the pages and the cells that was dealing with Order 66 happening. And they definitely changed some stuff. They definitely...
a lot.
I mean, it's easy to write around why Bad Batch wouldn't have been in there. They could have just...
Is it, though?
Yeah, I mean, if they add it later, the part of the comic they could have looked at and then written, like...
Let's give more information, because I feel like people wouldn't know what we're talking about. There was already a Canon graphic novel.
Yes.
Completely
focused...
No,
not graphic novel, but a Marvel comic book series.
Okay, a Marvel comic book series, completely focused on the events of Order 66 surrounding Caleb Doom, a.k.a. Kanan Jarrus, surviving.
Yep, his master dying,
their last
dying, stand,
all that stuff.
His running and hiding from the clones, all the way through his kind of tumultuous dealings that kind of give him that shifty Jedi that he is when he's with Hera in Rebels. And
basically, it was completely different from what we saw, which is both are canon, and now they contradict each other.
Down to even the troopers that are with them.
So
which is a weird choice.
Yeah, and we see, I swear we're looking at, you looked up the names, but I believe the names that you looked up were the Coruscant guards, which are the shock troopers in red.
Yeah, they're all in red, which they even make a reference of on this episode when they get to Kamino.
Yeah, and we see them later. But anyway, basically, we don't have to go into any more immense detail. We just have two different stories of how Caleb Doom, a.k.a. Kanan Jarrus, has survived Order 66. But super sick to see him. Little Jedi. He's got the same lightsaber.
Yep.
I love that. I want to know if the way it disconnects into two pieces was a idea from the start, or if he modified his saber later.
Changed it to break it down.
That's a question I have.
Yeah.
The introduction of the Bad Batch. They are the reinforcements, okay? Kanan and his master and their
immediately
clone forces.
loves Kanan. They love him and he loves them.
They come sliding down a hill. They take care of 3 tanks and basically a platoon of battle droids, which it seemed a little bit odd to me.
The Jedi and the troopers were just hiding from that scene.
But there's explanations to that too. Like in Rebels, Kanan explains. This mic is really pissing me off. Caleb explains that like his Jedi Master was definitely more of a defensive type, like not an aggressor, all that stuff, and that bodes well to him becoming blind later. So it makes sense, he wasn't an Anakin Skywalker, she wasn't a Kenobi, even Kenobi wasn't as aggressive as Anakin. But thoughts on the opening scene? They come down.
It was amazing. I'd say the first 10 minutes, I immediately oh my god, just the first 10 minutes. I know you haven't seen this, but just be happy. It's amazing. It's everything we wanted.
Yep. So Order 66 happens. We waste absolutely no time.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. We get Order 66. Caleb's master is killed, and then the Bad Batch, almost as a whole, basically pursues Caleb.
Yeah.
Crosshair, in particular, is trying to kill Caleb. He even gives...
Yeah, well, at this point, he's not necessarily trying to kill as in...
No, his very first shot.
I guess he shoots at him.
Yeah, his very first shot.
But he's not 100% like the way that happens later.
Yeah.
They ramp up his
evil
neural
kind of
processor.
Stuff. Yeah. And Caleb, of course, escapes essentially with the help of Hunter.
Yep.
Hunter allows him to escape.
Hunter covers his escape. Hunter gives him the lie that he fell.
The last time we saw the Bad Batch, Echo had become a member. Obi-Wan and Skywalker and Rex salute them. They all get in the ship and they go away. We don't know what's happened between then and now. We also don't have a huge grasp of how much time. Maybe only a week.
Yeah, I don't take it being a lot of time.
Yeah, not a lot of time, because we have
the Martez arc happens after that.
Don't bring it up.
Which can't be a
long.
very extended amount of time.
No, can't be.
And then that leads directly pretty much into the end
Mandalore.
of the end of Clone Wars season 7.
Yeah. And you know what I'm even more excited about now is the guy, or it could have been a girl, I don't know who did it, but the person who split Revenge of the Sith with season 7 Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you about it. It's 3.5 hours where they all simultaneously. Now they've got more footage.
Yeah.
We have, and dude, give me more perspectives of Order 66 happening.
I love it. Yeah.
You know, give me so many more scenes
For so many
depicting
years,
that.
it's just been this like question mark of like, how the heck did they pull that off? What are the stories? What happened to all the Jedi? It's easy to see in the movie where Commander Cody turns on Qui-Gon.
Obi-Wan.
Sorry, I don't know why my brain is farting it.
Yeah.
But when Commander Cody turns on him,
Yep.
You can see how he escapes. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, how many of those Jedis...
You
like,
also see Yoda cut off the head of Commander Gree.
Straight up, no care.
Yeah, just you know, give me more.
No Ahsoka and Rex type of like fighting against. We don't want to kill our clones. Yoda's like,
yeet, yeet, just But Crosshair, shout outs to our shirt, says, "Good soldiers follow orders."
yes,
and
in a very brainwashed way.
very monotone,
Yeah.
like low pitch, somber, if
Yeah.
you will.
Like it was almost he's being forced to think or say it.
Yep. Camino. We're back at Camino. First time we've seen Camino in a minute.
Yeah.
We talk about poster worthy shots. There's this the animation has been stepped up tremendously.
So good.
It
Yeah.
seems like it's even better than
From
season
7.
7. Even better.
Yeah.
I don't know how. You brought this up, and this was something I was going to talk about. It's the dramatic lighting.
Mm-hmm.
The realism of the lighting in this show, in this episode, and I'm sure it'll continue, made a cartoon seem real.
Yeah.
It really made me have deja vu moments where I was messing around in the woods with my friends, sitting by a campfire, how the light just dramatically kind of cuts people's faces. I don't know how they did it, but
I mean, it goes along with gaming. Like this is the biggest innovations in TVs, computers, games, video games. Everything has all been lighting. HDR was the first thing,
Yep.
and now with PCs, everything is with ray tracing, which is all lighting effects.
Yep.
And you can see it taking hold of this same in
It
the
just
animation
adds-
industry. It just the depth of field.
and that's what I was going to say.
Everything
the depth of
is
field.
like a different level when you can see like the changes and the flickering, and then when one light gets extinguished, the whole lighting color, everything changes. It was awesome.
Yeah. So we go back to Camino, and we kind of had a poster-worthy shot, in my opinion. We have the Bad Batch ship, which is freaking
Yeah, their
sick.
ship
Give
is
me a Lego of that.
It's like
or something.
Lambda shuttle fighter, like all rolled into
yeah,
one.
it's wild. It's flying into Camino. Super love it. They get there. You know, they know things are different right off the bat. We see a Jedi being carried on a stretcher. I love how I said we weren't going to give a play-by-play, but apparently I remember
We're
everything.
doing it like
You're doing it, Peter.
roundabout way.
Yeah, roundabout way. Who's the Jedi? We kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
You thought it was Shakti.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who was there. I remember in Clone Wars on Camino when they're having the whole arc of Domino Squad where you first are learning about them
Yeah.
before anything happens, before they become ARC troopers, all that.
Yeah.
And there was a Jedi that was overseeing the training of the clones.
Yeah.
And that was all I could remember was a Togruta, but it ended up being Shakti. So it's definitely not Shakti because
Torguda.
Togruta.
I know. Just kidding.
Tortuga.
Tortuga.
So we definitely know it's not her.
Yeah.
But I thought that could have been her. Obviously, some Jedi was assigned to oversee the clones. We just don't know who it was.
Somebody's going to know, and it's somewhere.
Somebody will recognize the hilt.
Somebody will recognize
There is an
something.
ultra nerd who will know that hilt.
Yes, and I'm a little upset that I didn't know, but I'm also concerned, like we said earlier, with Canon now contradicting itself. Like,
Yeah.
did they think we weren't going to notice? So I'm not questioning everything,
It's not
but
the first time. They've contradicted canon in novels already, too.
true, but not to this is pretty bad. This is too a novel you got to read, and most people aren't reading those.
Mm-hmm.
This is anyway. Maybe most people aren't reading the comics either. Anyway, things are super different on Camino. Okay,
Yeah.
They get back. They've completed another mission. You know, they're talking to all the regs.
We meet the worst accented girl ever.
Oh man, you know what? Accents tend not to bother me, but there is something about a Australian
No, she's a Kiwi. New
/
Zealand.
New Zealand. Look, anybody...
Hers is over the top.
Because it's not natural, you happen to stumble upon a very
I'm not
good...
going to say it's not natural. I don't know where she's from. I just know her
Okay,
ethnicity.
so she might be...
I don't know.
I get what you're saying. So there is a woman of Asian descent.
Gorgeous.
That...
You told me to say that.
I did not. I love how you were sinking and you grabbed my hand to pull me down with you. So a very handsome Asian woman who is doing the accent to Omega.
Omega.
What was your first thoughts when we meet Omega?
My immediate first thought, which I kind of told you on the phone the other day, is like, oh, this chick's a clone. She's
100%.
She's a girl clone.
Yeah.
You never hear a New Zealand accent on any other Star Wars character.
Yep.
Other than anybody that has to do with the clones, Jango Fett, Boba Fett. That's that same person that's been cloned is the only one with that accent. So for them to introduce that same iconic accent where you know it immediately, it's got to be a clone.
I'm going to put this out here. This is my theory when it comes to Omega. I think the reason why we have Bad Batch in the first place, they were failed attempts for Palpatine making Force-sensitive clones.
I love this. Yeah.
Omega, I think that they were on the cusp of figuring out how to make them Force-sensitive. And you know what they had to tweak? XY chromosome.
That makes a lot of sense.
So all of these 5 failed clones,
because
they say 5, it's only 4.
The 4 Bad Batch.
Yeah, the 4 Bad Batch.
All they know that there's a specific part that has been boosted.
Yes.
And changed and altered.
Yes.
We never get explicitly told what Omega is.
Or how they're doing it.
Or how, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we'll get to it eventually, but I mean,
obviously it's on a molecular level because the medical droid that had the literally like 13-digit number, if you turn on the subtitles, it's pretty funny because it covers almost the whole screen. Literally, like,
easy. It was easy something,
and then all the numbers. It's like the root of pi, I swear. Says like you guys are failed clones. Like I'll let you process
I have
it.
to break some bad news
I have to
to
break
you.
some bad news to you. Yeah, there was. I could have used a little bit more comic relief, but I did like how serious the episode was.
Yeah.
But that my theory is that Omega will be Force sensitive. And
there's 2 reasons that we'll eventually get to for why we kind of have that, but we're not going to. We won't spoil it. We'll get to that point.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So they're in the mess hall. They meet Omega. Omega goes away. They have a food fight in the mess hall, which
Classic.
I loved. Dude,
Classic.
Wrecker, I love the child dumb side of Wrecker.
Yeah.
Like, he's just always just ready for a fight.
Big dumb idiot. That's just a blast.
Yeah. And how dare you forever calling Din Djarin
Dodo.
hey, you guys, because I'm sorry, Wrecker is Sloth, not Din Djarin.
Wrecker is Dodo.
he is definitely Dodo. So Tarkin shows up.
Yes.
So Tarkin shows up. And
liver spots and all.
You know what? I love them exploring Tarkin more. I liked the Tarkin book a lot, and to see more of Tarkin. And this is Admiral Tarkin. This is not Grand Moff Tarkin. So this is still, we're seeing him go through the ranks.
His disdain for clones, just wanting them gone,
reminds me of General Hux. You know, because General Hux believed in a some sort of a subscription. What's the word I'm looking for?
We're not talking about Armitage Hux. We're talking about his father, correctly?
Both Brindle and the son. Basically not being in clones, because Kylo Ren brings up, maybe we should use a clone army. But once again, the Empire has been formed, and they talk about the subscription. I keep saying subscription. That's not the word. Is it subscription?
For what?
Like when you
Inscription?
Inscription, thank you. When they sign up to be part of the Galactic Empire.
The draft, for lack of, or whatever you want, not the draft, because I guess they're choosing, but
yeah. Well, maybe. We don't.
For now.
Yeah, for now, we don't know all the details.
Until they run out of leftover clones.
Yeah.
And they thin those herds, and then they're like, oh, well, now everybody's.
So at this point, Crosshair has questioned his leader, Hunter, the leader of the Bad Batch, Clone Force 99. Multiple times. They are then tested. They think that they're going to be in trouble because of the mess hall fight.
Last time I think we saw this test ground was in that Domino series arc, watching Domino Squad
go through it for their arc training.
Yeah.
And They end up upping the ante. We get what me and you called, Dark
like
Trooper 101.
Beta versions of Dark Troopers that
yeah.
just aren't spray painted black yet.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. The helmet, the grill, it was just the
eyes,
same.
yeah, 100%.
100%.
And definitely weaker. Wrecker literally just suplexes them and it breaks them.
Yeah. That's all Din Djarin had to do. Just suplex it, You got it. Shaka souffle.
Shaka souffle.
Anyway, so they're being tested for Tarkin, and the reason for this is, I think at this point Tarkin already knows that they're not going to be using the clone army.
Yeah, he's looking for an excuse. He's looking for a way to justify a means to an end for himself.
Or he's even looking for a reason to take the Bad Batch for himself.
I also loved the scene with the Prime Minister of Kamino.
Yep.
Where Tarkin just
I can't think of the name.
So shady style, like just dismantles their entire old agreement, everything. Just like, oh, the Republic doesn't exist, so your contract is null and void. This is the Empire now.
Such a bad explanation, but I think now is a perfect time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Second drink?
Second drink. Get it.
I like this.
Welcome to KonKon's Cantina. What are you having?
Squirted the
But
juice in
remember,
my eye.
no droids.
Going for empty.
This episode is in no way, shape, or form sponsored by New Brewing. If you would like to sponsor us in this podcast, please reach out to us via email at konkonscantina@gmail.com. Thank you. So we are drinking
Don't call the Patreon number.
Don't call the other one. Unless you need us to get rid of your bugs. We're drinking the second one. And this is the
Hoplandia IPA.
Yes, this one.
Oh, this one's stronger.
This one's definitely stronger. This one is 7.3. This one 100% huge difference between can and draft. I'm talking night and day. Draft is like a 9 out of 10. In the can, this is like a 6 out of 10 for me. But I always like a stronger alcohol content. Very, very strong.
I haven't tried this yet.
Strong hops.
I'm just reading the can.
Strong hops.
First.
Well, get it, bro. Get it. We got
so
we
this
got
is
Bad Batch to talk about.
7.3%.
Yeah, it gets.
So it just says that it's an IPA. I was looking to see if this is like a double IPA or anything, and I don't see that on the can. So it's just a standard IPA, but a 7.3% IPA. So I'm curious to know what this is going to taste like.
Once you taste it, you know that this is no ordinary IPA. It is not a West Coast. It is not an East Coast. It is not a South Coast. Whatever coast, this is
Where's the South Coast?
We're the South Coast, bro.
No, we're America's wiener.
Same thing. If you don't call that your South Coast, I can't help you. Definitely citrus notes, super, super hoppy. Copper on the back end for sure.
Yeah, metallic.
Sure.
That was a perfect word to describe it.
Yeah, super metallic on the back end, which once again, I don't mind. I like that there's an alcohol content that's higher because it's sweeter on the front end that offsets the back end.
They don't have the IBUs listed, but I would be willing to say the IBUs are not high at all on this beer.
Are you sure they're not listed?
I don't see them on the can. I don't see IBUs listed. But this is not a high IBU IPA, which is very unique to get a 7.3 that's not higher IBU.
On the sides of my mouth, like when I let it coat my whole mouth, it's the sides of my tongue with my cheeks that I'm getting like the sweetness and the fullness of the beer.
Uh-huh.
And then once again on the back end, it's super metallic-y. Once again, for me, this was way, way better on draft. And actually...
Well, tell me, what about it on draft?
It was way crisper on draft. Like, the citrus notes came out way more. Like, this is almost giving me a kind of like a pine saw on the back end, if that makes sense. And I wasn't getting that much pine on draft as I am in the can. But once again, that could be... There's a lot of things that could be.
Man, I even just looked it up online on Beer Advocate, which is kind of like my go-to. Either Untapped or Beer Advocate is kind of where I go. And they don't even have the IBUs listed on there. They gave it an 87.
Maybe they... Well, once again, I really like it. And I said, this is a 9 out of 10 on draft. I said 6 out of 10. I'll bump it up to 7. This is a 7 out of 10 Mandos for me.
Checking Untapped now.
In the can. But let's wrap this up on our review. Tell me what you're thinking.
What? 75 IBUs? I was way off. Wow.
Is that a deal breaker for you?
No, in the flavor profile that I did not expect a high IBU because it doesn't have that sharp kind of pucker factor.
Do you know how that's determined? Like, I know how they do proof. Do you know how they determine?
You're asking me on the spot. I did know from when I was doing home brewing and doing a couple brewing classes, but that was literally like 5 years ago, and I haven't done it forever to know how you measure the IBUs.
Because to me, it's like IBUs can almost be on an individual basis. Like a 12 IBU to me tastes like a 1 IBU to somebody else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But anyway.
It's definitely good.
Yeah.
What number did you give it? Did you give it a rating at?
7 out of 10.
I would say 7. 6 to 7.
6 to 7, yeah.
I mean, I guess
I can see how it's not.
I'll settle on a 7 because that the higher percentage is always good in a beer when it doesn't turn it into that like too sweet and too like where you taste something and immediately go, whoa, this is high ABV.
Yeah,
it doesn't have that, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
This one's definitely heavier. I can't drink as many as the Foxes.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely heavier. I like the Fox way more, but still
New
good.
Realm has got great stuff. If you guys find somebody distributing or you're passing through an area,
they said you can get it literally everywhere in
Georgia and Virginia and surrounding areas easily. I know they have to have it. Grab a New Realm product.
I've got a sour in there too.
Oh snap!
You want to try that before the end of the show?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try that before the end of the show.
Over.
Yeah, we got the spare. I'll just break it out for you.
I ain't got work to go to.
Homeless. Tarkin. He's testing them. He's got these Dark Trooper dudes. The Dark Trooper dudes start to mess them up because they're using training blasters.
Yeah.
Which I thought that this was a setting on their guns.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought it was like set to stun. I almost said set phasers to stun. That would have really gotten your goat.
Don't ever say that.
But yeah, I thought it was the same. I thought it was like their standard blaster, and they just twist the knob and go from full auto to single to pulse. I don't know what you want to call it. Like
they're stuns,
like stuns,
stun.
like electronic stun, not like human stun, but like EMP stun.
So of course, being the Bad Batch, they obviously work their way to defeating these Dark Trooper things.
Seriously showing the strength of a vibroblade.
Shoutouts to Tech.
Wow.
With the on his wrist thing, and he reprograms one of them, and my dude's riding him like a dinosaur.
Shout out to Wrecker not knowing hand signs.
Bro, he's like, I don't know hand signs. He's like, you should memorize them. And he's like, why don't you do that?
Felucia.
He's like, why didn't he say that? It's like,
thumbs up.
He does the BB-8 like. Yeah, that junk was good.
But like the vibro knives just straight up shearing off arms of those.
Dude, we talked about this. It's not a knife.
It's a bully knife.
That's not a knife.
That's a knife.
This is a knife.
I want to watch Crocodile.
Listen, he's based completely off Hunter, and apparently everyone else with those.
Hunter is straight up Solid Snake.
He is
from
Solid Snake.
Metal Gear.
Yeah. Somebody at Lucasfilm who was drawing these characters was like,
that guy looks cool.
That guy, he either played a lot of PlayStation or he's a really big Smash Bros fan. And when he saw Solid Snake, he's like, okay, that's happening. So they impress Tarkin, obviously, and he sends them on a mission. Now
impresses or makes him. Tarkin's a tactician. Does Tarkin already have suspicions and is now wondering if this is going to be his way to justify that clones can't be trusted because look at these guys are defective, and sends them on a mission specifically knowing that he's setting them up for them to disobey orders?
I will say yes and no. Yes, because what you said makes sense. No, because I believe that he already told them we will not be using clones, but he had interest in the Bad Batch, in Clone Force 99. He wanted them to run specific missions. He already said, hey, we're not using clones anymore. Like, it's a done deal. He already said that. It wasn't, it's a done deal unless Clone Force 99 impresses me. It was already a wrap.
See, I kind of
see
think
what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I kind of think he was looking for a justification because he's only an admiral at this point. He's still got to go back to the Empire, which they still have to justify deleting their contract with the clones. They have to justify not taking people away from their families and using clones and taking people away from their families for their war. So I think he was kind of looking for, like, here's my perfect excuse. I'll set these guys up for something I know that they're not going to follow through, and then there's my failure. There's my disobey orders of clones. We can't trust them. Boom, there goes. Stormtroopers are created.
Yeah, but remember, they also established that the clones can be manipulated because all clones followed Order 66, except for Bad Batch.
And Rex.
No, Rex followed Order 66.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. He
Yeah.
fought it. He fought it, but yeah.
He tried to, but it overtook him. And we kind of see that. That's something we didn't
Yeah.
touch on. We see that with Crosshair later, which actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. But so they impress Tarkin, and so then Tarkin says, "We will have a place for you in the Grand Army of the Empire if you do this mission. Go and kill these insurgents."
Yep.
So we get to an unnamed planet, and they start taking heat signatures. They think that they're, of course, going to fight battle droids because he specifically tells them that they're separatists.
Yeah. Insurgents. Separatist insurgents.
Separatist insurgents. That's can I get separatist insurgents for 500, Alex?
Yes.
Yes. And they get there, and we meet our boy who we said we're kind of hoping we see in the
Yep.
Kenobi show, Saul Guerrera.
Full high-speed metabolism, Saul
Dude,
Guerrera.
Dude's looking
Fit.
good.
No droop eye.
Nothing. That's just Saul Whitaker. I said Saul Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker is Saul Guerrera. Same difference.
Saul Whitaker. It's the same thing. He should just legally change his name.
But yeah,
Have you come here?
thin,
To
fit
kill
Saul
me?
Guerrera. Not yet also
Crazy.
bitter.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely on the way, but he's not the
No.
extremist that.
No, he is, because his sister's already been killed at this point.
But not like
Oh,
to
no. Wait, is that in Rebels? Why am
That
I
happens
blanking?
No. Crap.
I'm super blanking. I can't remember if that
Rebels
happens.
and Clone Wars sometimes mesh together so
it's
many times
Rebels.
in my
It's
head.
Rebels. You're right. He's not bitter at this point. His sister dies in Rebels.
But either way, like compared to that, you're
Nope, she
second,
dies.
you're second guessing
Dude,
yourself already.
I can't remember.
But
I'm sorry.
but
There's so many
The point
episodes.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
the Saul Guerrero we see in Rogue One.
Yes. Oh,
He
yeah,
is
definitely
not.
no.
He is not that extremist. He's not the murderer. The Saul Guerrero
Saul Guerrero is
that we
becoming
read
an
about.
extremist.
That we read about even in the
Catalyst book?
Battlefront. No, the Battlefront book. Where like they're like murderous.
Yes,
like
yes.
they're the justification to the Empire for like these how the rebels are bad.
Yeah, they truly were the terrorists, and
But he's not at that level yet. But he's definitely
yeah.
on his way.
yeah, he's definitely on his way. So
He's the first to he's the first to defect. He's the first to fight the power, for lack of.
But
better
he's
terms.
also basically at this point that we're seeing, the Galactic Empire is 5 minutes old, and he's already calling the Galactic Civil War.
Yeah.
He's the one that said the Civil War is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So the Galactic Civil War that we see throughout the original
Like
trilogy.
Palpatine just finished saying his whole speech,
The attempt on my life
setting you up for it.
has left me scarred.
If there's
Should I
one
just
thing-
go through all of my quotes now and just
I
get
set
them out
you
of the
up for
way?
the quotes.
Okay, yeah. The remaining Jedi will be hunted down. Anyway, sorry. That's
Classic.
yeah, you got the idea.
You get it.
Shaka souffle.
But yeah, I loved, and this was one of the scenes specifically when all of Bad Batch are in the camp with them.
Yeah.
That the lighting
Oh,
is
the
just
lighting.
because they have that big. It looked like a campfire. But
It
it's
looks
some
like the
big-
thing that Luke has on Endor, but way bigger.
Yeah, it's like just a
it's-
giant lantern thing.
Yeah.
And it's,
I love how they just leave it, by the way. He just turns it
it's
off. and he's
Amazing.
like, "All right,
it's
I'm
amazing
done."
lighting. It's flickering on their faces, all differently, like depending on where they're standing. And
It's
then,
got to be a heat source, too.
and
Like,
then
it's
they
got to be their
kill it.
version of a campfire.
yeah, or like one of those gas butane or like outdoor heaters. Like
Shout
the
out to those
restaurants have.
outdoor heaters when you need those.
But the second it goes off, like
Yeah.
the lighting also changes and it goes to this ambient blue moonlight on everything.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the moments where I'm like, man, this animation has stepped its game up.
Yeah, no, it was super, super good. And then, of course, Saul Guerrero kind of picks at Hunter's humanity. He's explaining to him that the Empire's lying to him. Basically, they sent you here to kill children, women, and men. Mm-hmm. These are civilians.
What
These
else are they lying about?
Yeah, what else are they lying
Yeah.
about? What did he call them? What are people that are displaced due to war? Why can't I think of the word?
Refugees?
Yes, he called them refugees. He's like, we're civilians, refugees. Some freedom fighters, some people who used to fight for the Republic that refused to serve the Empire.
Yep.
And then, of course,
The initial spark of the rebellion.
yes, and during this time, Crosshair is goading him the whole time, telling him that he needs to follow orders, all this and that, and of course he's not doing it. Even prior, he wanted to pull the triggers, not even so to speak, literally, he wanted to pull. You notice the first person that Crosshair zooms in on?
The old lady? Yeah.
The old lady.
I think it's a lady, right? It's a lady.
Is. My dude doesn't even go for the guy with the gun. My dude wants to shoot some poor girl's grandma.
This old lady's not moving. She'll easy pick.
Crosshair, dude. Come on. Tough look for my guy Crosshair, dude. He's shooting like, oh, yeah, that was rough. Anyway.
That's a good point.
Like, just shoot the kid first while you're at it, bro. Like, anyway. So they don't complete the mission, and they go back to Camino. And, of course...
Straight to jail.
You come back to Camino, right to jail.
Straight to jail.
You disobey orders, jail. You don't shoot the grandma, right to jail. Just, so they get jumped by the Coruscant guard.
Yeah.
And Tarkin is there ominously. Shocker.
Weirdly, Coruscant guard teaming on Camino for no logical reason.
What do you mean?
Like, why would Coruscant guard just be all over Camino?
I think they're there because Tarkin was going there. That's what I think.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, because he was going there.
Why gotta make sense when I'm trying to make jokes?
Listen, I'm sorry. It also makes sense. This is something that I brought up that I really, really want. There is a storyline from the Battlefront game where...
Original or remakes?
I believe it's the first Battlefront.
Like... For GameCube?
No,
Battlefront,
sorry.
Or like for
the
Xbox One?
The new age Battlefront.
Okay.
We have Battlefront 2, the one before that, Battlefront 4, that came out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
Okay.
There's a storyline where Camino rebels.
The first Battlefront game had zero story. It was only a Battlefront 2 that they had the story, and that was...
That's the Luke one. That with Luke and stuff. This is different.
This has got to be a different game then.
I'll have to show.
The first
I'll show you the thing.
Multiplayer only.
I'll show you the. You're right. It has to be Battlefront 2 then. It's got to be the OG one, and it's just a cutscene. I'll show it to you. So there's this storyline where. I know it was in comics where basically Camino revolted against the Empire and continued to make clones.
Which you can see why.
Yeah, they continued to make clones, and their plan was to revolt against stormtroopers and all that. So stormtroopers led by Boba Fett go to Camino to wipe out the remaining...
I don't think I've ever read or heard this or seen this, whatever this is.
To wipe out the remaining clones. And at this point, Inscription has not fully taken over the Galactic Empire. So stormtroopers are killing... they have gone back to Phase 1.
The clones have gone back to Phase 1 clones?
Armor. The armor. So they have
so
the
this had to be
T-visor.
the old one because it was before they even had newer versions, I bet.
Probably. You're probably right. But the way I'm remembering it is Super HD. I'll show you later. Anyway, and I'll also post it because...
I still remember KOTOR 1 being Super HD, so probably that same situation.
Yeah. And long story short, stormtroopers, clones, they're killing each other, blah, blah, blah. Well, the stormtroopers end up winning. Mm-hmm. And kind of like in medieval times, they're walking around and the clones that are still alive, they're finishing them off one by one. And this one clone kind of begs for his life. He says, don't shoot. And the stormtrooper's like, I know that voice. And so he bends down and he takes off the bucket of the clone and he sees his face. And then the stormtrooper takes off his helmet and they're both clones. And it's just like, it was really sad, to see this, and it might even be a fan film as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I can't remember exactly. I'll show it to you. I do know that it's based on comic book and it's also in a video game. Can't remember the details, but anyway, I'm hoping that we get that storyline because the Prime Minister has already expressed some sort of disdain for the Empire.
It's always been one of my questions that they've explained in kind of like roundabout ways, or they've made some quick sentences to write it off, but like just what happens to these millions of clones? What happens to their, like, we see a little bit in Rebels with them getting old. We see a little bit of things here, but like that's a lot of people. In
the storyline that I'm talking about, the Empire ends up completely destroying Camino, like the whole facility. They sink it into the ocean.
Yeah, but there's still all the Republic clones that's just out.
Yeah, just out there.
Yeah.
What do they do with all of them? Well, I think they eventually phase out.
Assume that they become stormtroopers and whatnot, but it's just always been a question. So that would be an awesome thing to explore.
So they get back, and they are captured.
Oh, we've only gotten to where they're in the cell.
Yep, that's
we
it.
digress.
We digress. Oh, we don't have that much more.
Yeah, I guess that's a lot of the action.
Yeah, then we got all the
Slows way
action.
down.
So they're in the cell. Omega has been captured at this point. She is also in the cell.
Oh, Omega.
Oh no, Bad Batch! Why are you? No, that I went way southern there for a second.
I can't do the
I
accent
can't do
unless
it.
I hear it. I have to hear it to do it.
I can do it with the vowels because you were like, "Listen, Omega, fix your vowels."
Yeah, it's all in the vowels.
Oh no, no. Oh no, I gotta hear it again. Way off. Anyway, so they're all in the cell
if you
together.
listen and you're from Australia or
We love you.
or New Zealand, what do we sound like? Do we sound like bumbling fools? Because I am
Dude, 100%. What do you mean, do we? Like, of course we do. We're sitting here laughing at ourselves. In no way are we making fun of. It's just, it's funny because I really do like the Tamora Morrison clone. Obviously, it's not him being the voice actor, but I really like Rex. I like that voice. Omega's like super over the top, where like vowels, like you said, are being just
weirdly
elongated, like
stretched in roundabout ways.
Yeah. Anyway, so Crosshair is taken away, and then of course.
Before we pass that,
Yes.
this is the first moment where I kind of feel like we get a glimpse into what Omega's alteration is.
Right. Yep.
Because she has a conversation with him in the cell where she's basically
he
saying...
He sits down, and he starts rubbing his frontal lobe area.
And kind of more like backside too, like, because we know that the chip is in that back, like, side of their head from the views that we've got where they get the scan.
You'll see what I'm talking about, but because they specifically say that he is having some sort of frontal lobe activity.
Oh, that's right.
They say something about that.
That might be where his like fighting against it or something is. Yeah.
That activity in the brain is fighting against the chip. Anyway, so continue.
Yeah, so he's rubbing his head, and she basically just starts forgiving him for what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And saying that, I know it's not your fault. This isn't you. Like,
she
you
knows
can't
about
fight
the
it.
chips.
Yeah, and she can... See, you could take it as she knows about the chips, or you could take it as in, I think that this is a kind of a precursor to her force sensitivity.
Yes.
I want to lean into this. We always make some bold predictions early on. I want to lean into her being a force-sensitive clone.
As I stated earlier, I think that the key to figuring out force sensitivity clones was switching the X and Y chromosome. I think that being a girl was somehow the magic recipe for being force sensitive. Mm-hmm. But remember, she is a directive in the medical department for Kamino. So who's going to know medically more about these clones and their chips than her and her kind of doctor-teacher?
Her doctor-teacher person is...
Doctor-teacher. Can we get names? No, doctor-teacher.
She is kind of like definitely her...
sympathizer for clones, too.
Yeah, like sympathizer for clones. She's definitely her guardian, I guess I would call it.
100%.
And she... is on the lookout for her, as we see during the episode, but it wouldn't surprise me that she keeps her in the medical bay just because that's where she works, just as much.
Yeah. And so they're in the cell, and Crosshair gets taken away, right? So Crosshair gets taken away because of Tarkin believes that he has seen loyalty to the Empire in Crosshair, and it's a mix between, is this Crosshair's personality or is it the chip that's giving these traits? And I think it's more the chip. Obviously, Crosshair, then he gets put in the MRI machine looking thing. They strengthen his chip.
They juice him up.
And then Bad Batch escapes. They try to find Crosshair. Of course, they get confronted by Crosshair, and we have a Mexican standoff there at the end in the hangar. This is a prediction that I had that you agreed with. I think that something has to happen to Bad Batch, because we don't see them in the rest of Star Wars canon. Now, there not necessarily means that there is not room to see Bad Batch further, because I do believe that in the Ahsoka show, we will
them into everything.
Yes, I believe that we will see Tamora Morrison reprise his role as Rex, and I believe that we could see other people reprise their role as, or reprise. I think that we could see people take the role of some of these Bad Batch members.
Old man Bad Batch.
Expendable-ish.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Expendable-esque type stuff, like
Greatest hits clone.
Exactly. I think we could see something like that. So anyway, they have their face off. But my theory is that we will have a redemption arc for Crosshair. I think that just like we had the
Vader almost.
Yeah, and also oh dang it, man! I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, I think
Echo's redemption
kind of, yeah.
situation.
I think that we'll have like Rex had his chip taken out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with the help of Omega, she will explain, Crosshair's acting like this. They must have bumped up his inhibitor chip, something like that. I think that we will have a redemption for Crosshair. That was pretty much it.
And the scene where they're finally escaping, and then the Omega's guardian kind of jams the door so they can make their final escape. One of the other things for Omega being force sensitive that I caught is when she grabs the blaster and she makes that dead shot, sniper shot with just a blaster rifle with no scope. That's a super Jedi thing to do. That's a super force sensitive thing to do, especially when they make a reference to it a little bit later.
Yeah.
And her first response is like, it's the first time I've ever picked up a blaster.
Yeah. No, I agree. I really hope
that's beyond, to me, that's beyond being a clone and being good at fighting.
Yeah.
Like that's like an intimate, like not intimate, a like built-in like
it's a big detail.
ability that is only through the force.
Yeah.
It didn't take training to learn that.
Yeah. I agree. And I do hope that she's force sensitive. If she's not, I'm not going to be heartbroken. But I do think
she will be.
She will be. There's something going on with her.
Weird. I want to know what her weird forehead pendant is. If that has
her headdress
any
type thing.
significance whatsoever.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because remember in Star Wars Old Republic, the PC game, when you're creating female characters, a lot of their headdresses, like a lot of their hairstyles that come with this forehead type jewelry. And I can't think of anybody else besides like Ahsoka
Some
that
type
has.
of. Well, I mean,
like
you
the
go dark side. There are objects that are force sensitive that have just absorbed the force.
What
and
if
can
this is
enhance-
impeding her force abilities?
impede, or that's what's one of the things that's helping give her some force sensitivity. It makes me wonder, because it's kind of a weird. It's a weird thing to throw in there that she's just got this weird headdress that nobody else has.
I really don't know. It could just be something that she also wears to be unique. Remember, she wants to be
she's
like
blonde too. She's
and
blonde and nobody else is blonde.
She wants to be like the Bad Batch. She wants to be separate. So anyway, they escape. And then that's pretty much a wrap to the episode. No, it's not.
Where they're going.
Going. J-19?
Yeah.
Sector J-19.
They don't say sector, but they just say set a course for J-19.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you, and then we both in turn re-looked it up. Like, the first thing that when it ended, when I heard J-19, I frantically Googled J-19 Star Wars.
Yeah.
To see, like, if this is anything that's already been talked about.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was talked about is this is a sector in Star Wars galactic map that is an established canon map.
Yeah.
And one of the planets on this map is a planet that happens to be visited in multiple, I think 2 or 3 episodes in season 2 of the Clone Wars, where, long story short, Obi-Wan and Rex, actually it might just be Rex, but they go to a planet, they stumble across a guy who is a farmer who ends up being a deserted clone. And through the history of the episode, or through the episode, Rex kind of goes from turning him in to accepting and knowing or sympathizing with him, and doesn't turn him in. And this is, I can't remember, his name was like Cut something.
It was a weird Star Wars last name.
Cut was in his name, and the second episode of this is, what was it, Cut and Run?
Cut and Run.
Cut and Run, which those two things together makes me for sure we're going to see this clone, because they're going to somebody that they can trust. And another deserted clone seems like the perfect answer when you combine J-19, this Cut character has already been an established in Clone Wars character.
Yep.
And it's called Cut and Run. So you heard it here first. We're going to go see Cut.
Yeah.
We're going back to the farm.
Yeah, we're going back to the farm. And it reminds me of in Rebels when Kanan and Ezra visit.
Oh, they're looking for Rex?
They're looking for the clones. Ahsoka tells them where to find them. And I don't really know what the connection is going to be. I don't know what their game plan is. I don't know.
Because we also don't know how Bad Batch knows cut. We know Rex knew cut.
Mm-hmm. And this is something we talked about too, is Rex and Anakin spent time with the Bad Batch in the first arc of season 7. Mm-hmm. So you could just say, oh, well, we learned this from Rex or something. You could say something easily in passing. Knowing Star Wars canon, they will say absolutely nothing, and we just have to, assume.
One of the other possibilities is they served with him in their early days, and they could have helped him for all we know.
So,
because they're not cut and dry clones. They could have helped him figure out.
No pun intended.
See what we did there? They could have helped him be the one that escaped for all we know.
Yeah, and there's not a. We don't know like Cut's CT number or anything, but it does say that he escaped after the first Battle of Geonosis, which is like that's a pretty good while ago.
Yeah, that's what episode 2.
Yeah,
which is like both pre-Clone Wars. Even started. Or
yeah,
like
I mean that's the first battle of the Clone Wars.
The beginning of Clone Wars. So he was like one of the first ever clones.
Yeah, and that
who knows if he even has an inhibitor chip that early on, for all we know.
I think he has an inhibitor chip. That's kind of something that we talked about, is maybe he was too far away or he's so disconnected he doesn't hear the intercom. Because remember, even the Bad Batch say in this episode they hear Order 66 come across their communicators inside their helmets. They all hear it. But they don't know what it means.
What's Order 66? But it doesn't like force control them.
Super impressed.
Loved it.
Can't wait for more.
Couldn't have asked for a better. I mean, the 70 minutes alone was such an awesome,
when you told me that,
twist.
Complete disbelief.
Which I'm sure it was probably announced, but I didn't look that deep into the details when it was coming out. I just assumed, because we're getting an episode Wednesday or Tuesday, and then we're getting an episode Friday.
I'm pretty sure we are. I still haven't seen that confirmed, but I'm pretty sure we are. Because when else is it going to release? It's not going to release on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Every Disney Plus release has been Friday.
Oh, shout out! This is breaking news. Marvel from now on is releasing shows on Wednesdays to match New Comic Book Day.
Really?
Yeah, which is awesome.
I mean, that's kind of good for us. That means that we can.
Loki got moved forward 2 days.
I did see that it got pushed up.
From now on, all Marvel content on Disney Plus is released on Wednesday, just like all Marvel comic books are released on Wednesdays.
Dude, that means that we could cover all of it.
Yeah.
Because if we record on Wednesday, anyway, just an idea. We'd be recording Friday, we could cover both, but I say we finally separate the two. Especially if we're going to take Loki a little bit more seriously than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hopefully we have less going on in our lives.
Yeah, things will settle down.
But
what a great start for this show, man. I don't think I've heard a single person who's been down on it. Dude, I don't think I've heard a single...
I've heard people
could pick it apart, but I don't think I've heard a person down on the show.
I don't even know how people could pick it apart. I've seen people who say that they didn't watch it right away. Or, I'm going to wait, blah, blah, blah. Don't wait, guys.
What an example.
It was sick.
What an example of this isn't a kid's show, too. Like this.
Yeah.
Watch this and tell me that this is like a child's cartoon. Nah, this is just comic books in real life, for lack of better words.
It was sick. The Jedi flare we got at the beginning, I don't think that's the end. There is leaks / spoilers. Now, I haven't read it.
I read the blurb. I didn't read the entire article. I read the blurb.
All right, well, don't say it. But
okay.
Matt Lantern has said things about Bad Batch. I'm assuming that we would see not Anakin Skywalker, but we'd be seeing Darth Vader in this at some point.
Yeah, we know he's in it.
Especially if we're seeing Tarkin. We know he's in it. He is Vader at this point.
Yeah, we know Lantern is in it. He could easily be a flashback where he's Anakin talking to somebody at some point.
Yeah.
Or it could...
I'm really hoping he's Vader.
Or that's kind of what we were leading to. We want fresh suited up Vader.
I want a confrontation scene between Vader and Crosshair where basically Crosshair is loyal to the Empire. Tarkin gets Crosshair taken from him and the Emperor gives Crosshair to Vader. And now Vader is telling him, you must find the rest of the Bad Batch, whatever.
Salty, fresh suited, red eyed Vader. The Rebels version of Vader, but super fresh in the suit.
Something. Besides that, I don't want to go too much into speculation. I think that this is going to be great. There's so much in the trailer that only was episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Which is always a good thing.
There's so much more in the trailer, and I don't even want to watch the trailer again.
I know.
Because
that while you were saying that.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I have playing in my head, and I'm going to remember those when I see them in the episodes, but I don't want to watch it again because I want to be thoroughly surprised. 10 out of 10 for me. Great May the 4th. I would say even better May the 4th than last year.
Content-wise, for new content, 100%.
Yeah. Still super surprised we didn't have anything else planned for this episode. I guess we can talk about news briefly. The new Disney cruise ship, dude.
Oh,
Did you see
yes.
They have a whole Star Wars section. They have a whole Marvel section. Like, they have a whole Avengers thing. I didn't look up the details as far as like attending. I'm assuming, of course, you have to be vaccinated, all that kind of good stuff. Apparently, you could already pre-order spots. You couldn't get a ticket onto it, and I believe it's supposed to set sail 2023 or 2024, something like that. But the cruise ship looked ridiculous. I've never been on a Disney cruise ship. Have you?
I've been on a Disney cruise ship before they were Disney cruise ships, and they Premiere owned them, and they had all the Disney characters. But since Disney has full-on had their own, I have not been on one of their ships.
Do they have like their own island and stuff too?
Oh, yeah, all those lines
Yeah,
have
all of
their
them
own.
do, but does Disney... I mean, I know...
Oh, yeah. And Disney has got to be like Disney
Ridiculous.
level. Yeah.
I know that like cast members get ridiculous... discounts and stuff on the cruise ships.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely something I'd be interested in.
We also got our lightsaber. That video with the little lightsaber.
Give me your first thoughts. I looked deep into it, and also the patent itself leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I'm not impressed.
No. It looks cool.
I'm not impressed. I haven't seen it in person, okay? So I know that's harsh, but I'm not impressed. The hilt looks...
girthy.
The hilt looks like a drive shaft from a 2500 Ford, okay? That thing looks like it is the category on websites you shouldn't finish, or you shouldn't visit, okay? That hilt looks so big, and once again, the patent leaked. And as somebody who's into high-end lightsabers, and as others who are getting into high-end lightsabers, it's never been, oh, this is inconvenient, I can't carry this around. No, it's about the board. It's about the sound fonts. It's about smooth swing. Mm-hmm. If you're making me pay anything over $150,
I don't think these are going to be for sale. I don't think these are going to be for sale, man.
You're the only person I've heard saying that.
Well, that's my prediction. I think these are going to be
no shot.
These are going to be the cast member.
Nah.
Like, they can walk around, they can ignite it. Because what I think these things are,
this part of what you said, I 100% agree with. But
I think these have the tech to hide the entire blade collapsed in a way into the hilt.
Yes.
Which they make the hilt obnoxiously thick and big. But when it comes on and it extends itself, I think that these things are going to be like freaking paper mache. I think they're meant to be turned on, ignited, but the second you would hit that against anything that's a solid surface, they're going to be screwed up. They're going to fold in half. They're going to not be a lightsaber anymore. So because of that, I think that there's no way they sell them. Because what happens when an 8-year-old turns his lightsaber for the first time and tries to fight his brother? Like, those things are just going to be shredded. They're going to be broken.
I agree.
It's going to be extremely expensive for a parent to justify getting fixed. I think it's a cast. I think it's a cast prop.
I agree. However, I do not think that Disney would pull out all the stops to patent, design, and do all of this just to give this to their cast members. Disney is not in the business of making their cast members happy. Disney is in the business of making money. Now, these lightsabers...
We don't see, when we're in the parks, Kylo or Rey ever ignite their lightsaber. They just walk around.
True.
So this is something unique for them to have.
No. I agree. I just don't see Disney making something that's just, oh, this is, these are for our what they call face cast members, like people who are characters. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. But either way, even making a lightsaber ignite is not a difficult process. Most people who
I
are
had it when I was 8 years old.
most people who are into high-end lightsabers have the ability. Yes, most people who are into high-end lightsabers have the ability to have the access to editing software that would allow them to create a video that would make it look like they had a real lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because that was my first reaction is, oh, these are going to be sick in videos. These are going to be sick in like little YouTube whatever and little Instagram things, my TikToks, like whatever. But besides that, I don't know. Definitely need more. Wasn't super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what they actually end up doing with them.
Yeah.
I think it's cool technology, period. Like anything that's a sliver closer to a real lightsaber, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we're getting closer every day. There's the YouTube channel, of course. Their name is escaping me, but they made the closest thing to a real lightsaber.
Oh, where it's that like super raging
literally
hot rod.
Yeah, the
proto saber.
Yeah,
version.
basically, yeah, and it had the power supply and all that stuff. I think that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
Not really.
Can't wait for Bad Batch.
Yeah, super excited to continue the journey through Bad Batch and enter all these things that we've talked about in the past.
Yeah,
parts of Star Wars story post Order 66 that we've wanted more content.
Dude, you know what? I do got something else. I still cannot believe we have not heard anything about Mando season 3. Cannot believe it. What is happening? Like, is it really that much political drama and all that stuff? Like, what's happening? Like, the longer we go without hearing about Mando season 3, the less I become interested in Book of Boba Fett. Seriously.
See, I kind of just accepted that we're probably not getting it, and we're getting Book of Boba Fett this year, and then it might be another year before we get a Mando season 3.
We're getting Fennec Shan in Bad Batch.
Oh yeah,
we've
she's
already
gonna be in there.
We've already seen it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. Episode 75. We are 25 away from our 100th episode. And supposedly, I still haven't seen this confirmed, but apparently Bad Batch is 16 episodes.
Yep, that is. I saw that confirmed. It's 16 episodes.
16 episodes. So we will be with you every single week. We might have to do some stuff virtually. Obviously, we still have...
There's a chance we may double up on some stuff depending on just how life goes. If we miss a week, we might just double up on some episodes here or there. But we will be covering every single episode.
We're going to try not to, once again, to the best of our ability. Things might come up. Both very busy. You've got remodels going in your house. You're now handicapped.
Yes.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But guys, thank you very much once again. I should have said this at the beginning of the episode, and I didn't. And I don't feel like we say this enough.
Welcome to Justina's Cantina.
This episode is sponsored by our Patreon members, and we appreciate our Pantinos, and we appreciate every single one of you guys. And we know that the exclusive content has been lacking a little bit, and we definitely apologize for that.
It's been a rough few months for both
of us. Dude, 2021 is worse than 2020.
We have fully planned episodes. We are going to get you back. We might do, this is off the top of my head that I've been thinking about, a Patreon party.
We need to do something.
We might, if you're in the area, if you're willing to come, we might do a Patreon party and just celebrate with all of our closest listeners.
And we want to get more people involved. So, guys, in the comments below, talk about what you did for May the 4th. If you did anything, I know some of you took the day off work. I usually do.
I did. I took the day off.
Yeah, stop it. I couldn't this year, so I was upset. But it is what it is, guys. We will be back. This episode is coming out tomorrow, which is May the 6th.
We're pushing it out early.
Yeah, we're pushing this out immediately. We want to get this coverage out.
I like that we're telling people that when it's already out. So I was like, yeah, I know. I'm listening.
Yeah, they're like, listen. It's
like
out right now. What do you think I'm doing?
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. And then Friday, we will be reconvening to record episode 2 of the Bad Batch. That, of course, will be coming out Sunday on the YouTubes, and we will be pushing that out on Monday for the audio version. Guys, thank you very much for joining us this week.
See ya.
Super fun. We hope that you enjoyed Bad Batch. We very, very, very much did. Once again, the Linkwist family, Technicolor, Droid, Anders, we love you, bro. We're sorry that all the stuff that you're going through, and we hope that you and your family heal quickly.
See ya.
And I was your boy, it's KonKon, and sitting across from me.
Broken Arm Baker.
And we'll see you guys next time.